Live from my girlfriend's bedroom because I have nowhere else to live. Here's Johnny, hooray! Um, yeah. So I'm coming to you guys, and I wanted to address a little bit of something that's going on out there. Clearly, as you can see, it's very dark in here, and the lighting sucks, and there's nothing I can do about it. So listen to the sound of my voice as you relax and fall asleep. Wait, no, that's not what I want you to do. I'm not trying to score or anything. Um, the whole business here with the Off the Rope Show newsletter. I know a lot of people have chimed in about it, how they probably think it's unfair and you're asking, too much and all this crap and why should we sponsor you and la 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 whatever. Well, I'm here to tell you that these guys at the Off the Rope Show happen to be people that I associate with on a regular basis. Me being a YouTube shooter, making videos for myself, while also for, you guys out there to watch, but mainly just to get my point across. And I might not have thousands of subscribers, but the Off the Rope Show does. And with that comes a lot more pressure than for the occasional YouTube shooter like me to get on here and to deliver reviews and analyze stuff and do fantasy booking and do all the shit that they do that entertains us, weekly on a regular basis, even though they're all guys that are, grown men and have jobs, and some of them have wives, some of them have children. It's a pretty big time sink, to put your hard-earned effort and have to do multiple takes on videos, with editing and shit. I mean, like, I don't believe in that, but they do, and their product is a lot more successful than mine for that very reason. Um, I got the chance to sample the Off the Rope Show newsletter, and maybe it's because I am sitting at one of the more popular clubs here in the YWC, because I've done videos and because I've made friends with, the guys in the British Fist, and because I hopped on board at a good opportune time when other people like Dreamboy899 were getting started. And, as such, I've made, these connections with people, so my name is out there, and I'm a pretty reliable person, I would think. I like to follow logic, and my videos are usually very straightforward. I don't make the mind blow to its capacity. I follow things from a very you know earthly based intelligent standpoint, as if I would have been a wrestling minded person, which I consider myself. So for me to say that this newsletter is spectacular, it isn't because I'm trying to kiss anybody's ass. It isn't because I'm trying to gain subscribers or be popular. That was never my goal. The reason I'm coming out here and doing this is because they've asked me to contribute to this, and as much as I would like people to see it, ultimately I want people to help these guys out in what it is that they're trying to do. I know that one esteemed member of our YouTube wrestling community here, the Wrestling Jesus himself, came out and called them out essentially as you know really trying to scam people and tell them stuff that they already knew. And I don't want to get into the whole drama of that because Mr. Jeff Schlegel already gave a video response and everybody knows what's going on, and there have been multiple videos by Wrestling Jesus about the fanboys and everything else with Off the Rope Show, and God forbid this video gets targeted as some kind of shit to get brought into that. I could really not even want to bother. But to tell you the truth, the newsletter was like a 20-page thing. The first issue. I'm sure it's a mighty big compilation, and they wanted to address a lot of stuff, see what went over the best, but they have 5 guys, working on this thing, and each person presented, at least one article, if not 2. I really liked the stuff that Metal D had written, and I liked a lot of the stuff that kind of went back in time and explored, like, what was important about said month that the newsletter gets published in wrestling history. Like, I'm not going to give away everything that's in the newsletter because that'd be really shitty of me, but I think that for any wrestling fan to go back and to have these nostalgia moments reading this thing would be worth, the dollar a month or whatever they're asking for. I mean, if they're asking for $9.99 for a year. Like, you really can't afford that? Like, come on. I was just talking to Mr. Rout on the phone earlier, you know, and a lot of you guys know because of Facebook that his first name is Mike, but, you know, a lot of people don't know that he and I have been talking essentially since I first started doing videos, and he's the one that plugged me and got me to the 100 some odd subscribers that I'm here today, you know, and included in that would be people like Daniel Parkin and people like Dustin Herendine and people like the Nature Girl, you know, always contributing my name out there. But the whole fucking point that I'm trying to make is, you know, these guys at the Off the Rope show have helped other people out. You know, they've brought other people in in terms of, you know, opinions and shit, and they have wrestling knowledge as a foundation. You know, they've been fans for a long time, but they also treat this as a hobby and not as their life, you know, and they want this to be a bigger part of their life because it is such a big hobby of theirs. And I think that everybody owes it, you know, them a chance to really see where they could go from this. It's not going to be something that makes them a ton of money. I don't know why people are thinking that they're going to buy Cadillacs and shit with this. As far as I could tell, you know, there's really not many people that have signed up yet because of the shit that happened with the Wrestling Jesus videos. And honestly, if you saw the preview of this newsletter, you would probably bite the hook and at least pay for 1 year, you know, $9.99. And that, in and of itself, is going to generate enough money to get them a better camera to do videos with, and to help them host a website that they could, you know, link a whole bunch of other stuff to. And it's just shit that's going to come back to us as fans and help our enjoyment of their product. You know, it's not going to pay their rent. It's not going to buy them a new house. This isn't something that... It's not even a scam. They're not demanding that you do this. They're still making videos in their spare time. I don't understand where all the hype and all the crap came from, you know, and all the shit that got flung their way. You know, and I don't really need to come out here and defend these guys. They really do a good job of it themselves, and I wanted to get my opinion out there because I read this whole newsletter already, top to bottom. It took me a little while because, like I said, there's 20 pages of it. And the next issue is going to be all about a Macho Man tribute, which, you know, I'm all for, you know, being a Macho Man fan my entire life. You know, well, my entire memorable life, that is. And I'm sure that at 1 year old, when I was shitting and being fed and, you know, slept all day, that I really didn't know what was going on. But, you know, I remember being, you know, kind of walking around in diapers and seeing him on the television. And I followed his career as soon as I could and knew all the places he went and wrestled and, you know, remembered how many times he was a title holder and who he beat for it and all this stuff, you know. And that's been a big part of my life. You know, he was definitely my childhood hero, and it's nice to see somebody that wants to take their own newsletter and devote it to that, you know, to pay respects for people that put this shit on the map and made it what it is today. I've been asked to do, you know, one article in particular. I know the rest of the guys are up to doing stuff for it. I think it's going to be a great thing, and I want to invite people to check it out. You know, if you're a little bit skeptical, please don't be. Like, I know it's hard to convey that trust over the internet with people you've never met, but take it from me that, you know, as soon as I figure out a way, whether I gotta send them a check in the mail or get a prepaid fucking Visa card at Walmart or something to donate my $10 to them, that I'm gonna do it, you know, just because I know that it's going for a good cause. No, it's not, you know, fighting AIDS or curing world hunger or stopping, you know, terrorists from acquiring weapons, but this is something that we're all interested in because this is the YWC, and, you know, we all use Twitter and we all use Facebook and these, you know, and nowadays, and we're all on YouTube looking for videos, looking for other people that either share our opinion or who differ from our opinion or who aren't afraid to go out there and deliver both sides of an issue. You know, I'm sitting here picking my nose in front of you, but the point is that I've seen what these guys are capable of in their videos. They keep it relatively simple. They can analyze, you know, more than one side of an argument. They can see a business standpoint, a fan standpoint, etc. They can postulate, 2, 3 months in advance. And a lot of what the fucking, just garbage that was floating out there is saying that, it's essentially them copying and pasting Wikipedia. Well, some of us were actually old enough 20 years ago to have seen the product then and remember what it was like. I mean, I still own VHS tapes of WrestleMania 7 and Royal Rumble 1991. I mean, come on, guys. Like, it's not just Wikipedia shit. It's our own personal story. It's our own fandom coming to life through this. And, there are guys like Marvelous Mark and Metal D that are a little bit older that have seen more stuff. And, they've watched wrestling since before 1998. And not only that, for anybody that disputes the validity of the Off the Rope show's outside or insider sources or whatever, I hate to break it to you, but they do have them. And although the first newsletter itself didn't really have a lot of insider stuff, it had a lot of stuff about the Hall of Fame up there in Iowa where they all live, and getting out there to check it out. And it had a lot of who the people are that are going to be there for autographs and such. And I know that these guys go to that event every year, and I know that they meet people there and get autographs. And just putting 2 and 2 together in my own head, not even knowing who the other people are on the inside of the business and what companies that they work for that these guys know, it's safe to say that they would have a lot more of an edge than just some asshole sitting in his mother's basement eating popcorn or nachos, kind of letting his nuts hang out of his shorts a little bit, and blow the fan on it. Oh, it's nice. And have the dog lick the peanut butter. Come here, Sparky. And it's not somebody reading Wikipedia to you. It's actually information, predictions, shit that's not just dirt sheet rumor mill stuff, but actual stuff that is in the process that's going to happen. Announcements for what's going to be big events coming up soon, announcements for what they're thinking about doing for big pay-per-views, because they have people in these places that know these things. And it's like having somebody in your family that works for the company. You're going to eventually find out about it at the dinner table. And, this newsletter is a good way to get that across without creating a bunch of controversy or getting somebody that they know on the inside fired for, discussing this stuff. So I guess, to keep it short, because I never do, give it a fucking chance. Honestly, put your I want to save my money aside for a minute and think about what it's going to do for these guys in terms of making it easier on them, providing them with extra equipment, maybe even a nice sign that's not fucking spray painted that says OTRS. Maybe get themselves, video editing equipment, just stuff that anybody could use. More DVDs to review, more action figures with which to, give you an insider scoop on. Just shit that helps us all out as fans that watch the product. I know there's 5,000 some odd of us that do it. Give it a chance. And, I'm going to make a challenge to everybody else to get their money into them before I do. Because I am seriously going to, either copy the check and take a picture of it and upload it as proof. Or I'm going to have them tell you personally that I paid them for this. And that whole fucking, whatever you want to call it, drama out there can settle itself. You guys really owe it to yourselves to check out all the stuff that's going to be in this newsletter, especially this Macho Man one coming up. I'm really excited for it because I get to participate, and that's something I've always wanted to do, is to give my respects. One thing that Mr. Rout told me before we got off the phone is that the Off the Rope show did contact the family of the Macho Man. They got in contact with Leap and Lanny. And he said that it was okay to do this newsletter and to use Macho Man's name and pictures of him and to, charge for it, essentially. So they're not just going out making money off of fucking people's names and shit without, the appropriate, avenues being pursued to acquire, I wouldn't say licensing, but, if I was to go and put a bunch of shit about Randy Orton in a newsletter and, him be able to come after me for that, it wouldn't sit well with me. you know. But if I was to contact Randy Orton's family and say, hey, would you mind if I did, you know, an upload and, you know, this and that and the other thing about your father and about, you know, or even with The Rock and about the legacy that his father and grandfather had left behind. You know, you would expect that if the family gave you the nod, that these people were serious about doing something. And that's what's going on here. So, long story short, I'm really excited to be a part of this next newsletter. I hope that everybody is going to check it out. Let's try to get them 100 or 200 people that sign up for this thing. I mean, it's really not that hard to do. I know a lot of us have money that we waste on stupid movies and other shit. You know, it's $10 for the year, guys. You can forsake having, you know, fucking McDonald's one day out of the week and pay for this. And I'm not even joking, because I went to McDonald's the other day and I spent like $12 and I was still hungry. And then, like, I took the most monstrous, disgustingly awful shit that you can imagine. I don't need to hear about this. Good night, everybody.